Hi everyone. Thank you for taking our time for our third lunchtime chat on mental health with our community partner serving the residents of Bukit Batok constituency. My name is Fred from the Green Ribbon Task Force, Bukit Batok, and I'm the moderator for today's session. So just a quick introduction of Green Ribbon Task Force. So the Green Ribbon Task Force hopes to use this session to raise awareness about mental health and the importance of mental wellness, especially during this period of pandemic for the Bukit Batok residents. Before we jump into the panelist discussion, I would like to bring up your attention to the mental health postcard. So as Bukit Batok residents will know, you would have received a mental health postcard in early January this year, and it includes information of 10 partners to look out for your mental health needs. We had our first webinar session with Singapore Tongchai Medical Institute Bukit Batok branch earlier in February, and Sushi Singapore Seniors Engagement and Enabling Note in March. Today, we are very fortunate to have Feiyue Active Aging Center, Bukit Batok, which is located at Block 210A, Bukit Batok Street 21. So let me begin by first introducing our three panelists who will be speaking with us from one of our community partners. So representing the Green Ribbon Task Force, we have Dr. Linus Chua, who has been supporting the mental health of residents in his official capacity for many years already. Yeah. Then next up, we have from representing Feiyue Active Aging Center Bukit Batok is Program Executive Center Head Ms. Ling Yin. And lastly, we also have Jojo, who is an active member and joined daily activities since the center was opened in 2016. She is also under the Befriending and Buddying program. When COVID struck, the activities were mostly confined at home, and Befriending was able to help out a lot. Now that the safe distancing measures has eased, Jojo is tuning back to visiting the center frequently again to interact with other members. Okay, so as we begin the session, I will begin by asking Lin a question. So actually not many individuals know much about active aging centers, which actually stands for AAC in short. Could you share with us some activities you do for seniors?
Actually, Feiyue AACs serve as a key point of contact for seniors in our care. So what we do at AAC is that we proactively reach out to seniors, we organize social activities, and provide opportunities for seniors to interact with members of the community with the aim to enable the seniors to adopt an active lifestyle, preempt the social isolation, and refer seniors for assistance in a timely fashion through our community screening tools. So our baseline services for seniors are as follows. We do outreach and community collaboration. We have active aging programs. We have the community screener tools. We also have information and referral, and we have budding and befriending program.
Thanks, Ling. So actually just now, you shared quite a number of different modules or programs within the Active Aging Center themselves. Maybe we break it down a little bit so that, it won't be too much information at one go. So maybe could you share a little bit more about outreach and community collaborations, active aging programs, as well as this CST or community screener tool that you shared earlier?
Okay, so for outreach and community collaboration, we are talking about building up collaborations with partners in Bukit Batok so as to benefit both the social and health well-being of the senior. So an example could be our collaboration with the Green Ribbon Task Force, which aims to improve the mental health of seniors within Bukit Batok. Another example will be Lian Foundation, our donor, for gym tonic, where as seniors come to our center, they are able to use the gym facilities. And then things like medical institutions like St. Luke's Hospital, Ng Teng Fong General Hospitals, and GPs from the primary care network. So different organizations provide different services for our seniors. And right here in Bukit Batok Feiyue Active Aging Center, we have two centers, one at Block 183 and the other at block 210A. So right here, we organize active aging programs. So examples will be the gym tonic, and then other mentally stimulating activities include coloring, Sudoku, Ramio, and we organize National Civil Academy courses for lifelong learning. And prior to COVID, we organize outings too. And there's this happy program, happy exercises, which touches not on the physical aspects, but also on the cognitive portion. Okay, then back to the community screener tools. We call it CST in short. This will be administered to all our members, and that will lead to outcome assessments for necessary referrals and or befriending programs. We have a set of detailed questions, and the necessary intervention or referral is done based on the outcome of these CST assessments. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lin Yin. Yes, I think you've really shared, I think, quite a number of different components, and definitely I think there's a lot of things that the staff do at the center as well. So earlier, you also mentioned about referrals and information, and I think this is very important, I think, given how the whole sector, can be very fragmented. So, having information at a good source, would be very useful. Could you share more about this information referral, as well as the budding and befriending program, which you earlier mentioned?
So as I've shared earlier, based on the community screener tools, there will be results churned out. So when it comes to referrals, it can be medical referrals, it can be social referrals. So for example, if a senior has a risk of high risk of fall risk, then we will refer to our community nursing post that is run by St. Luke's Hospital. So in terms of social intervention, we have our Feiyue Family Service Centers at block 185. Should seniors exhibit signs of depression, we will refer to our social workers and counselors for counseling services. And for mental health issues, we can refer to Feiyue Community Intervention Team. And of course, there are a lot of other issues also. For example, decluttering of the houses, financial assistance, etc. And there are just many of them. Okay, and for budding and befriending, it is about connecting seniors and helping them to build friendships to prevent social isolation. So we have the twice monthly home visitations and the weekly phone calls. So befrienders will practice active listening skills and as they provide this listening ear to our seniors in need.
Thank you, Lin Yin. Yeah, so I also totally agree. I think with the befriending this befriending program that you shared, I think especially as seniors grow older, some of them might be living alone, and all these social interactions and outreach is definitely a very important component in helping seniors. So today we also have our guest panelist, who is Jojo. So hi Jojo, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Jojo is muted. Yeah, hi Jojo. Yes. Okay, so Jojo, out of the activities mentioned by Lin Yin, can I check which have you participated in before?
Before also coloring, exercise, read newspaper. And there will be outing and really enjoying the outing organized.
That's nice, that's nice. Could you share with us which you enjoyed the most?
Definitely the outing.
The outing,
Yes.
Okay, that's good, that's good. So maybe next you could share with us which was most helpful for you.
All the activities.
Oh, so you're saying that all the activities are helpful for you?
Yes.
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. So thank you, Jojo, I think for your response. So maybe back to Lin Yin. Yeah. So earlier on you mentioned something called happy exercise. As some of the audience here might not be too familiar with it, would you be able to demonstrate an example of a happy exercise?
Okay, so we talk about exercise, happy exercise. On top of the physical movement, there's the cognitive portion. Okay, so example will be we will get the seniors to sit in a circle, and the trainer will request the senior to march while they are sitting down. So maybe by marching doesn't mean the real marching, but just to move the leg. Okay, so once the trainer says starts, okay, the seniors will move their legs, will march non-stop. And trainer will assign a topic, okay, for example, fruits. And then seniors will take turns to say out a fruit, and they should not repeat it. Okay, so for example, the first senior will say apple, and then the next senior will say orange, and this goes on and on and on, until a lot of the fruits are being said. So yeah, and similarly, trainers can say, now we do multiples of 3. So it is time for the seniors to practice their 3 times table. So the first senior will say 3, the next senior has to say 6, and the next senior say 9, etc. Yeah, this is an example.
Thank you, Lin Yin. I think based on your example, definitely, I think it requires a lot of mind and body coordination, and I think definitely it's sounded quite challenging. Yeah. Okay. Perhaps I can direct a question to Dr. Linus. Yeah. So hi, Dr. Linus. Earlier we heard from Lin Yin about this term called active aging. From a medical perspective, why do you think it is important for a senior to actively age?
Active aging usually involves keeping active physically, mentally, as well as socially. Okay, so physical, mental, and social activities are all very important to keep seniors going and for a long time. Now, it helps not only to improve the physical and cardiovascular health, but also to prevent things like frailty, and also to help to prevent mental health conditions such as depression. It helps to prevent dementia or delay the onset of dementia. And all of these helps to improve quality of life and also life expectancy.
I see. Thanks, Dr. Linus. Maybe just to add on a little question, I think to help us think a little bit more. I think do you think it's important for seniors to age in place, for example, to age in the community? Or, many a times a lot of seniors may say like, I don't know, in Chinese, they always say, when we're louder, I'll just go to old folks home kind of thing. And a lot of times, it can be very disheartening. So what are your thoughts about the importance of aging in place and aging, in where they are in the community?
Certainly, that's the best and most comfortable place to age. I think everyone wants to live in their own homes where they're the most comfortable and also have the most freedom. So that would certainly be the most ideal, and that should be the aim, where we empower our seniors to be able to live enabled lives in their own homes and in the community. Okay, instead of having to place them in a nursing home, okay, or an aged care facility. However, we know that this is not possible for all the cases, but as far as possible, we want to enable this. And I think all of us, when we eventually age, we also want to be aging in a place where we are the most comfortable and have the most freedom to do what we want to do.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. I saw Lin Yin nodding her head, I think quite a fair bit, would you like to share something as well?
Yeah, I think aging in the community is important to many seniors. Yeah, and I think it's so much more applicable now because currently AIC is driving this EC model in the Active Aging Center, and there are so many services that can be rendered to seniors in need. So it becomes easier now to age in community, and with so many collaborations between social and health institutions, I think it becomes really easier.
Thanks, Lin. I think this also draws back to earlier what you mentioned about, when individuals come in with mental health needs, Feiyue Active Aging Center is also able to make the necessary referral out to based on the individual's needs. Yeah, and I think it also showcases a lot of collaboration and networking that the team has, with the other community partners within the area. Yeah, so based on I think what Dr. Linus shared earlier, I think this ties in very nicely into my next question. So the next question will be to Ling Yun. So earlier in your earlier response, you mentioned a gym called Gym Tonic, and I think many individuals may have known it as a senior-friendly gym. So perhaps can you share the natural question that people will want to ask? Nowadays there's is it scientific? There's so many things that are like being sent on WhatsApp and all. Is it real? Does it work? So maybe just a question to you. Have there been any research studies which supported the use of gym tonic to improve a senior's overall function?
Yes, there has been a study. So prior to that, gym tonic is actually a system, a gym that is suitable for elderly. It is safe in the sense that when we went to the normal gym, if we happen to use a load that is too heavy that our muscles can endure, it becomes sometimes we will hurt ourselves. But for gym tonic, it uses a hydraulic system whereby in the event that the senior cannot tolerate any longer, the machine will stop there. And the senior will not be harmed in that sense, will not get any injuries. So in terms of study, yes, gym tonic is an evidence-based senior-centric strength training program. And this study is titled Effectiveness of a Community Delivered Pneumatic Machine Resistance Training Program, that is gym tonic, for older adults at neighborhood senior centers. It is a randomized control trial. So in this study, the conclusion is that community delivered gym tonic resistant training program with pneumatic machines has high adherence, improves muscle strength and normal walking speed, and can be effectively implemented at scale or for older adults.
Thanks, Lin. Maybe can I just ask another question then? So I think you mentioned about all the safety measures, especially when it comes to seniors using the machine. Like having like a what you call it, like a fail safe, to prevent like injuries and all. With IT and technology nowadays, can I just check, does gym tonic machines itself incorporate such things? Maybe like potentially monitoring the progress of the seniors or such sort? Yeah.
Yes. In fact, each elderly have their own card. So this card records the progress of the elderly. For example, in the previous section, to what stage has the elderly achieved, and then as the elderly come for the next session, we will tap the card, and then it will record the elderly's progress for this session. So and prior to that, we will have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment for the elderly too.
I see. So this pre and post assessment, it's done by the Feiyue staff itself?
It's done by Feiyue staff who are trainers for the gym tonic program. Our trainers are sent for training under the Lien Foundation Gym Tonic program.
I see. Okay, thank you so much. Maybe at this point of time, I also wanted to check. I think with Dr. Linus, is there anything that you want to ask about the gym tonic as well? I think it's quite interesting machine to be used.
Yeah, the Gym Tonic is a really good program. I actually do have quite a lot of patients who are on it, and they have very good feedback about it. They all say it's elderly friendly, and then they also say often that they feel good after each of the gym sessions. While it's mainly targeting the physical frailty and the balance, control, strength training, I find that it's also very helpful in improving the seniors' own sense of self-confidence, and it improves energy levels, their willingness to participate in all kinds of activities, and it helps to improve their mood as well. Yeah. So it's been a very good experience actually with the Gym Tonic.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. So I think something that Dr. Linus tapped on, which I also feel is very important, is self-esteem. So I think many a times self-esteem, it has to be built, from scratch, and it slowly builds up. Whereas many a times, sometimes when seniors might set unrealistic, expectations, like suddenly one day I can do a lot of weight, then they might feel very jaded, or like, oh, why can't I do it? So I think using this machine to show the progress will definitely help to boost the seniors morale, and also like, maybe want to make them come back for more lah. Yeah. So maybe Ling, can I just check with you as well? Because when normal Singaporeans go outside for a gym, we have to pay for a gym membership. We go to the nearest like gym in Bukit Batok as well. You also have to pay like a small nominal fee. Could you share a little bit, if there are seniors who are interested, to go down to the center to use your gym tonic equipment? Do they have to pay? And also maybe what about seniors who are maybe living in rental flats as well? Yeah.
Okay, so our gym tonic fees are $180 for 24 sessions, inclusive of a pre-assessment and post-assessment. So we encourage seniors to come twice a week, and that will last about 12 weeks, because we feel like coming twice a week helps greatly in building up the muscles. So building muscles is an ongoing process, and it requires determination, and they have to stick to it. Okay, for seniors residing in rental units, they can come to our gym tonic also, for the sessions.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Thanks so much. Yeah, so I think it's good to hear that there's a lot of individuals are all able to access these services as well. I think that's very important because especially for seniors who may not be working, financial status, and financial income might be a barrier for accessing such services. So I think it's good to know that the team is also able to provide services to this more niche population as well. So I think talking about this whole gym tonic, exercising and all, I'm also quite curious, how does exercising link back with mental health? So maybe this question I'll give it to Dr. Linus. So linking this all back to the whole topic of today of mental well-being, can you share your thoughts on the usage of gym tonic and how it can indirectly improve a seniors mental well-being?
Yeah, so we do know that exercise itself, any kind of exercise, whether it's gym, strength training, or aerobic exercises, does help to improve one's mood and one's sense of well-being, and also helps to increase energy levels in general. So many times when patients are dealing with mental health disorders such as low mood, or depression, but we do encourage them to exercise regularly, and oftentimes this helps itself to improve the mood and the energy levels. Yeah, and I think what you mentioned just now about improving the self-confidence, of doing something new, and being able to achieve, better and better, strength carrying heavier and heavier weights, and doing something new that is not usually associated with the elderly, okay, learning something new and interesting. Often that in itself helps to build self-confidence and helps them to be able to say, hey, maybe I can learn other things as well and try new things. Maybe it's not so difficult after all. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Linus. Yeah, so I think something that he shared, I think that also made me think a little bit further. So like how all this that's being shared can kind of also like apply to myself. So the whole idea of exercising can be very deterring, I think, for individuals who generally don't exercise very often. So, for myself, it's like I tell myself, okay, I'll run 2.4, and then when I go home, I'm like, okay, I'm so tired. I know I'm not gonna run in the next few weeks. Weeks become months, become half a year. So maybe can I just ask Dr. Linus as well, with your experience with working with seniors, how can seniors how can we encourage seniors, to pick up a new activity? So, something like, exercising is very good, but everyone don't want to start off with so much. But yeah, at the same time, how can we build towards improving functionality as an overall?
That's a good question. And I think every individual is different. So we have to engage individuals. I think doing it together is helpful. So if you're able to do it as a group, okay, there are walking groups or exercise groups among seniors. So those are very helpful because it's both a social, friend to friend kind of group, and it helps them to keep it up and keep it regular and keep it fun. Yeah. So if you have seniors in your family, if you can go along with them to walk together or exercise together, I think that would be very helpful. Another thing is that we usually try to start with things that are not too daunting or not too difficult. Okay, so I think Gym Tonic, they have a graded kind of activity or weight level that you need to achieve, which is helpful. Oftentimes, the seniors will be at the gym and then they will look at the gym machines first before they decide to whether they want to do it or not. So you just let them see first, then you let them do the easier ones first, and then slowly, step by step, you help them to see the benefit of it. And I think themselves, if they can choose to do it or they can see the benefit of it, then that's how they are able to do it more regularly. And that's how the effects are better in the long run.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. So I saw Lingying and Jojo nodding their heads. I think they also agree with what Dr. Linus has shared. Yeah, so maybe just one last question here for Dr. Linus. Yeah, so from your experience with working with seniors, why are seniors, especially those with chronic and physical illness, more prone to developing mental health issues?
Okay, so I think nobody likes to be sick, not just seniors, even anybody, even children don't like to be sick. So to have aches, pains, discomforts, as well as handicaps, okay, some disabilities, okay, this is difficult to deal with. And I think many of our seniors with some of these conditions actually struggle with these disabilities and handicaps on a daily basis. And that takes a toll on them. Okay, that takes energy and motivation to want to overcome these disabilities. And sometimes because of these handicaps, they stay away from other people. They don't want to be seen with some of these handicaps, and it causes them to be more isolated, maybe more homebound, and maybe this would cause them in turn to deteriorate more in the function as we become more and more homebound and stick to ourselves. Sometimes also it's the disease itself, okay, that is related to low mood. Okay, so some conditions such as stroke, okay, or Parkinson's disease or neurological conditions are also associated themselves with low mood due to lower levels of circulating neurotransmitters, in the brain. And then sometimes, of course, medications and interactions between medications also can have an effect on the mood. So it is oftentimes a variety of factors that actually affects the mood. And also we need to target it with a variety of interventions as well.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. Yeah, this is definitely quite interesting. Yeah. So I've got next question actually for Ling Yin. So I'm also trying to debunk, some myth here lah. So the whole idea of active aging center, it sounds like a very senior centric or like a service specially made for seniors. So just a curious thought. Have you or your team experienced persons from other age groups, maybe someone younger, who came in looking for help, maybe not necessarily for your elder care services, but maybe for other things? So, how was the team able to help the individual?
Yes, we have occasionally rendered assistance to younger persons, but this is not very common because everybody knows us as a senior center. Yeah, but let's say the younger persons coming to us, we always adopt a no wrong door policy in discharging our information and referral duties. So whenever we are unable to render direct assistance, we will link them up with the proper agencies that are able to provide expert assistance. Yeah, in other words, we have to link them to the right services.
Thanks, Ling. Would you be able to share, what are some providers that the team is in touch with before? I think this might give the audience some idea, of I think who are the providers in Bukit Batok as well.
Okay, like if you have social issues, if you have depressions or something to do with your emotions, we have our Feiyue Family Service Center at Block 185. For seniors living alone with multiple issues, we can approach or refer them to Singapore Anglican Cluster Support. And for mental health issues, we can refer them to Feiyue Commit Team. Yeah, these are more of the mental health related referrals. But as I mentioned earlier, there are several other referrals also, like financial assistance, advanced care planning, even funeral services, etc. So feel free to approach our center and then we will direct accordingly.
Thanks, Lin Lin. Yeah. So maybe just another question, I think maybe a little bit more towards the mental health side. So does the team have any, maybe like so-called success story to share where the team was able to support or prevent a senior from developing mental health issue?
I guess Jojo here is one of our success story. Jojo is fun-loving and she was seen almost daily in our center prior to COVID. And you can always hear her loud jovial laughter as she interacts with other seniors. Yeah, but now that moving about is not as convenient as before, yeah, we know that Jojo is under the befriending program. Yeah, having someone visiting her and chit-chatting with her helps so much.
Thanks. I saw Jojo giving a very affirming nod of approval to how she's benefited. So maybe the next question will be to Jojo. Hi Jojo, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
I hear you.
Yes. Hi. Yeah. So just want to check. So are you involved in befriending or have you been befriended?
No.
Yeah. So sorry, Jojo. I think I lost you for a while. Could you repeat again?
Yes, I am befriended.
I see. Okay.
Volunteers or the staff come to visit me to chit chat with me.
I see. That's nice. Could you share an advice to non-seniors trying to befriend a senior?
To build up more rapport and trust.
I see. Thank you, Jojo, for your very candid and open response. So perhaps can I direct the next question to Lingyi then? So, with your vast experience with working with seniors, Jojo mentioned about the importance of building rapport with seniors. Could you share a tip or two on, how would you do so in your line of work?
Building up rapport and trust doesn't happen in one day. You need to befriend the client, the elderly, over a period of time. Okay, for example, an elderly visiting the center for an activity for the first time usually will come in and sit down and participate quietly. For example, coloring, the elderly will start with coloring, and then maybe next week as the elderly comes, the elderly will start to open up herself and talk to people around her. And then maybe subsequent weeks, she will start talking to more people and sharing deeper things in her life. And when she starts sharing deeper things in her life, this is where staff picks up the necessary referrals to her. And at that point in time, you will know that rapport has been built up between the staff, and the elderly, or between the volunteers and the elderly.
Dr. Linus, I think maybe I will also want to expand this question for you. Would you be able to add on as well, how you do it in your work?
Well, we do find that seniors in general do have a lot that they want to share. It's just whether they are comfortable to share it at the various settings. So whether it's in my clinic or whether it's a part of my multidisciplinary team, which actually includes care coordinators, social workers, psychologists, care coordinators, who are able to share with. But I think what is helpful is if it's a particular person that actually cares and is able to also help in some practical way and provide a listening ear. I think that's helpful. So we do need more people in the community providing listening ears. We do get on board those at the active aging centers and family service centers, and they do a really good job at this also.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. I think you also mentioned a very key point, I think, on volunteers. Lingyi, may I check, does Active Aging Center Bukit Batok accept volunteers as well? And maybe can you share what kind of volunteers you might need? I think this is a good opportunity, right?
Yes, we have our group of volunteers with us. So the volunteers can be non-seniors, not our members, and they can be our seniors because they are the health more active ones, and they felt that they want to contribute to the community. So that is where they join us as volunteers. Yeah, we definitely need more volunteers for different areas to organize activities, to be there, so-called on duty at the center, to chit-chat with the seniors. We need volunteers to befriend the seniors. That means they have to commit to do a weekly calls to seniors and to visit them twice a month. And at times when we have outings, we will need volunteers to tag along to see to the safeties of seniors, and many ad hoc duties, opportunities for volunteers too.
Yeah, thanks, Lingyi, for sharing. So before we jump into our next segment, which is the Q&A segment, Feiyue Active Aging Center Bukit Batok has actually prepared 2 videos. Perhaps you can use this opportunity to show it to the audience as well. So the first one is actually a YouTube video. Yeah, so the first one is a YouTube video on the gym tonic program that Lingyi showed earlier. So Albert will be helping to show it. Thank you.
done this.
Yeah, thanks Albert for sharing. So that video was on the Gym Tonic program and how the seniors were able to use it at the center itself. Yeah, so we will also try to share the next video. All right, so there's actually some technical difficulties in sharing the second video, but not to worry. We're actually not done yet. So we'll actually move on to our next segment, which is the Q&A. So for the audiences that are joining us today, if you have any questions, do feel free to drop in the chat box below, and then our admin team will actually help to pull it out to share with us. So yeah, so at this point, I want to take the opportunity to thank Ling Yin, Jojo, and Dr. Linus for their sharings earlier. So we will now take some questions from the floor. And so what will happen is that our admin team will actually help to pull it out and flash it for everyone to see. Yeah, okay, so we have received our first question. So I believe this is to Ling Yin. So in Ling Yin's earlier response, she actually mentioned something called Community Screener tool. Could she help to elaborate what it is and how is it used to identify seniors at risk of mental health issues? Ling Yin, please. Thank you.
So this is actually a questionnaire that we administered to our members on a yearly basis. It is very detailed questions of which they are designed to pick up conditions that indicate risk factors. So these include moods and memory questions. And this tool also suggests possible actions that may be undertaken to mitigate the risk identified. For example, if an elderly identified to have 4 risks, we will refer them to our community nursing post that is run by St. Luke's Hospital.
Thanks, Lin. Maybe I want to like further ask a little bit more question, but maybe to Dr. Linus. So she mentioned something called screening. Could you share a little bit on what's the difference between a screening tool and an assessment tool? Yeah, I think some individuals might not be too aware because it's a very thin line as well. Thank you.
Okay, it's probably not too important to know what the difference is, but just simply put, a screening tool is something that we use for everybody. So we put everybody above the age of 60 and we put them through this questionnaire, and that is something that we call a screen. Okay, and then we want to pick up individuals who are at risk of certain conditions, and those individuals that we pick up, then we either administer the assessment or we refer them on to get the assessment done. So simply put, that is what it means. Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Linus. I think why I was also asking this question is because I think even for my own friends, when they look at screener tools, they always feel that some of them might think that it's actually a formal diagnosis. So I think something to also put across is that it doesn't necessarily translate into one. Yeah, so I think using this opportunity as like, a myth buster as well. Yeah, so I believe we have a second question. Yeah, okay, so the next question is, can seniors with dementia develop mental health issues such as depression? how does their symptoms differ from other normal seniors? Maybe this question would be more appropriate for Dr. Linus. Will you be able to take it?
So yes, certainly can. In fact, quite a lot of those with dementia or the pre-dementia, which is what we call cognitive impairment. A lot of them do have symptoms of depression. Yeah, and actually the symptoms are the same, whether you have dementia or you don't have dementia. The symptoms of depression are the same. They exhibit the same issues such as low mood, poor appetite, increased sleepiness, low energy levels, and other associated symptoms as well. Yeah, and actually we do find that especially those who are struggling with early symptoms of dementia, okay, that means they know that they are forgetting, tend to, because of the frequent frustrations of forgetting things, they tend to exhibit more of the symptoms of depression as well.
I see. Thank you so much, Dr. Linus. Yeah. So may I check if there's another question? Yeah, okay. So the question is, what is done to make Feiyue AAC affordable and accessible to seniors in lower income households? So I think this question will be more appropriate for Ling Yin. Understand that she talked a little bit about it, but maybe we can talk about it in more details here.
Okay, so our AAC membership is actually free for all eligible seniors. Seniors meaning age 60 and above, residing within the boundary. So membership is free for all seniors, and for the lower income group, we have sponsored outings and activities for them. So even our courses, the lifelong learning courses, like the National Silver Academy courses, is free for them. So there is no issues at all that prevents seniors in lower income groups to join our activities and our members.
Lee, just now you mentioned about this Silver Academy. Could you share with us, I think, just out of curiosity, what kind of courses are there?
Oh, okay. So this National Silver Academy courses is free for seniors residing in rental units. These courses are actually life skill courses. So there are so many of them. To name a few, there are things like floral arrangements, maybe some decoupage craft, aromatherapy, mini food sculpture. Then there are talks too, like TCM, then even the languages like basic conversational English, etc. So there are quite a whole list of courses available that's run by us.
I see. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I think it would be a good opportunity, I think, to ask, if anyone here knows any seniors who are interested in such courses, would be good to sign up as well. Maybe I have one question as well. Are there any courses for caregivers? So I think why I'm asking is that caregivers, are of any age. You can be the daughter of someone, you could be the partner of someone. So I think especially for seniors who are caregivers themselves, was wondering if there are any relevant courses for them.
Not so for the National Silver Academy courses, because NSA courses focus on life skills for the senior himself or herself. But for caregivers, we can actually do referrals again. Maybe some of our hospitals, our partners, even some centers, not our center in Feiyue, but other centers, they may do courses for caregivers.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, so I think why I was asking is because recently, there's a lot of focus on mental health as well as a lot of focus on caregivers. So I was wondering, in what way, if a caregiver goes to you guys for help, how are you able to help? But good to know that no matter what, earlier you shared there's no wrong door policy, and that the team will be able to refer based on the needs assessment. Yeah. Okay. So I believe we do have one last question. Okay, so this question, yeah. So from your experience, are female seniors more prone to mental health issues than male, or do they have higher help-seeking behaviors? So maybe I would like to direct the question to Dr. Linus. Will you be able to reply to this?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a really interesting question. Every individual is different. Okay, so we find that the males in the senior age group currently you have two kinds. One is the more introverted kind that don't talk to anybody, you don't have no friends, and then like to stay at home. So those kind would actually not have help-seeking behaviors. But there are also the kind that you always find at the coffee shops. So those are the kinds that you would share often openly, right? And during the COVID lockdown, you find that they lose this platform of sharing very openly about things. So then they tend to get depressed if that setting is taken away from them. The female elderlies are also two kinds. You have those that are very well connected and would share with everybody everything that is happening. So those kinds are fine. But there are also those who all along have been more introverted, and those kind, especially maybe housewives who are very dedicated to taking care of their family, and then circumstances change in the family, and then they're left kind of isolated. So those are the kinds that we would be worried about. And if befrienders are able to go in, oftentimes we find that the females tend to be more happy, to talk and to share compared to the males. But this is also a stereotype. Sometimes the males just need a bit more encouragement, a bit more probing, comfortable, setting, and then they will share as well. Okay, so it's not really a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Linus. Yeah, so I think this is actually the last question that we have received from the floor. So I think as the session is coming to an end, the Green Ribbon Task Force would like to express our gratitude to our guest panelists. So Lin Yin and Jojo, who took their precious weekend to spend their afternoon with us. I think also a very special shout out, I think, to Robert. So who is Robert? Actually, Robert is a Feiyue staff who has been supporting Jojo on site, with all the technical help and how to set up everything for her. So I think thank you, Robert, so much as well. Yeah. So while Ling Yi is currently at home, we will pass on the token of appreciation to Robert, who will then pass it to her when they meet lah. Yeah. So just to share, this is a gift from our friends at Forward, a social enterprise that employs persons with special needs. So including those who are recovering from mental health conditions. Yeah. So over there you can see Robert holding the bag. Yeah. So Lin, you will receive one as well. So but please wait. Okay, we will pass it to you. Yeah. So I shall leave some time, I think, for our three panelists to give their last comments. If it's okay, we'll start with Dr. Linus. What is one take-home message you would like to say to the attendees who joined us virtually today?
So related to what was shared just now, it's very important to keep active physically, mentally, as well as socially, and go learn a new skill.
Thank you so much. How about Ling Yin? Would you be able to share something as well?
Yes. So it's about being active, stay healthy, stay safe, and do join us as our member at Feiyue Active Aging Center at Block 183 and Block 210A.
Thank you, Lin Yin. Yeah. So maybe I just add on to hers as well. If you all want to volunteer, please go and find them as well. Let's not forget the volunteers. Yeah. So last but not least, hi Jojo, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Jojo, could you share something with us?
Talk to Feiyue, active center at OK 183 and block 2108. They will be of our big family.
Thank you, Jojo. Thank you so much. Yeah, so
Thank you,
Jojo's very
everything.
direct. Yeah. So Jojo's very direct. Yeah, she's asking everybody to come and join her. Yeah. So just some closing message. So this event would not have been possible without the support of the team at Feiyue Active Aging Center Bukit Batok and their management, and as well as advisor to Bukit Batok constituency, Mr. Murali. I hope that everyone who has attended today's session found it useful and was able to learn a thing or two. If you know of any friends, neighbors, or family members who might benefit from the session, you will be able to find both the audio and video recording of the session on Bukit Batok and Advisor's Facebook page from this upcoming Thursday. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Stay safe and have a good afternoon ahead.
Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jojo.